Hey everyone, this is Darren Benson with Performance Motorcoaches. I want to do another video of a sold 2024 XL. Kind of the purpose in doing all these videos is one, just to kind of show people what's available, and then two, kind of show them what's the options or the availability to do kind of a customized themes or arrangements within the coach line. The XL is pretty much set. If you were building a classic, there's a gazillion different options compared to the XL. XL is very, very set. And then moving into 2025, a lot of the options in 2024 now become standard in 2025. For people that are interested in building a coach and you can wait a few months, I would strongly suggest getting a 2025 because the price actually doesn't really change. You get a new coach, get a lot more functions and features, and actually get it, I hate to say same price or lower price, but anyway, that's kind of what we're up against. I really don't like talking about pricing MSRP. Want to just talk more about the function, the feature of the coach, and what's different. So what I've really been impressed with the first year we basically brought on the XL was 2024. So we'll be rolling into the 2025s in basically June. Those coaches will go online here in the next few weeks, but really won't be any exterior changes. So my premier chassis is the Freightliner Cascadia 126. You can tell the 126 because it has this long little piece right here. The 116 is a little bit shorter. Of course, everything gets a little bit shorter. The cab is basically the same, but it's the hood and this little transition piece. I personally think the 126 looks the very best because it's very tall and doesn't have a little squatty nose. So this particular customer decided he wanted an Allison. We can do the DT12 transmission or the Allison. And then basically all the Cascadia 126 will come with a 600 horsepower Detroit, which I'm a big fan of. Since I've been doing it, since we moved from Cummins to Detroit, check engine lights have kind of disappeared. No coaches towed, so I'm a big fan of the Detroit. I wouldn't move over to Cummins even if it was $10,000 or $15,000 less. So kind of personal preference opinion. Now, this is a 45 DBM, so basically all the XLs are essentially a four-slide coach with the exception for the bunkhouse. Exterior-wise, this is a deviation of Solstice. So the people that kind of been online looking, the Solstice kind of has a greenish blue stripe. I decided I want something just a little bit different. In fact, I think we'll probably order any stock coach this exact color combination, getting rid of that green-blue stripe and adding the white stripe. I think it really ties everything together, probably appeal to the masses. Now, all the steps will come powder coated from Renegade. If a guy had to have a polished step, we could probably arrange something. The wheels come polished as well. They do a good job in doing like a really high polish on the wheels after the fact. So essentially, whenever it gets done with the production, it kind of gets a final inspection, and then we'll get a final polish on the entire coach that most other coaches don't get, and they do a polish on the wheels. We can always do black. That's the stuff we generally do here at the dealership. Now in that, all the coaches will come standard with all the stainless trim down the side. If the customer didn't want that stainless trim, we could just basically order it without it. And then same for the baggage handles. If you were like, hey, I don't like the shiny things, or I don't like fingerprints on that, we could easily order the coach just in a black handle. Now other things exterior-wise really won't change. We can't add or delete slides. The outdoor entertainment standard. Now the number security lights, that's all optional. The dual awnings, that's standard. Kind of opens these guys up. So the 45 DBMs, actually all the XLs will come standard with the 600 Aqua Hot. And then starting 23 and newer, all the Renegades will have the combined storage compartments. The nice thing about the 600 Aqua Hot is it does have dual electric elements. A little bit less runtime whenever you're in severely cold temperatures, just because it can store more coolant in the unit itself. The dual electric elements are nice for summertime use, not having to listen to the boiler portion of that fire off. Customer wanted an ottoman, so we were able to get him an ottoman from the same furniture. Basically, it's Villa furniture. Customer did not want the satellites installed starting in 25. Satellites will be an option, which I think is probably a good call. A lot of people are going to Starlink. So this customer will do Starlink. Everyone's streaming, so eliminate some of the stuff off the roof. Additionally, 2025 we'll get 6 solar panels up top. So have to start taking a few things off to be able to accommodate those. So we'll leave those in there until the customer gets here and figures out if we're going to wrestle for them or we're going to trade for them or what we're going to do. So all the outdoor TVs will come out. So if you were out tailgating or anything, you could take and pull them out. Sound bar is standard, and there's a little tiny USB right in there to be able to charge your phone or a small device. If you're vertically challenged, it might be a little bit difficult. I've noticed some people change the shocks on those. Get these dudes closed up. These are all fully locking. One thing that we like to do, we basically brought this coach in yesterday afternoon. I drove it in myself from Indiana. This is a pet peeve of mine. I want to be able to close those and have them perfectly shut. So that's one thing we'll do after the fact is go through and make sure all those things are adjusted perfectly. And it's pretty impressive whenever you can do that and they completely shut. Pretty easy to take and adjust all those. This is part of the Trimark. So you have 2 key fobs that will operate your entry door and your all your baggage compartments. Open this and you see this drawer type little 42 series. Something that's kind of cool looking. You know, there again, from a service standpoint, I definitely have to worry about getting that clean. Not a big deal for us. We wash everything. If you buy from us and you're driving through, we always give people free wash jobs, and that's one thing we like to do is, you know, basically get that clean and then service that if we do see the customers coming back to us. So the 3/4 pass-through, which is kind of, to me, one of the most valuable compartments. We are excited about our upcoming 43 DBXLs because we are regaining this back. So pretty excited that we were able to do some engineering. That was one downfall to the 43 DB that I really liked about the 45 DBM. Central vac will be standard. It's nice that there is a 110 plug that's included in that up there on the left. And of course we added, I don't know if you can catch it back over here, we added the 110 in that 3/4 pass-through. So basically we like to put a 110 plug anywhere. You might need to be able to charge a battery, plug in. You can always see the little exit ports in the bottom of the compartments. All the Renegades, with the exception for Classic, will all be a 2-piece rear cap. So if you damage that lower piece, you can just basically just replace that. The Gen Y hitch is standard. So this entire hitch is standard. If you're looking at an option sheet and looking at the Gen Y torsion, that's basically just an assembly piece that goes in this that is basically like a torsion flex. It's about a gazillion pounds, and most people don't want to have to pull them in and out. I really don't think you need that Gen Y torsion hitch on the back. To me, this is standard. Really don't need anything beyond that. Lots of convertibility in that to be able to flat tow big trailers, bike racks, and so be able to flat tow as well. This customer right here, we did order the hitch cam. The 360 cams do a pretty good job, but some people like to add those after the fact. We like to ship them loose, and then if the customer doesn't like the way it looks or has any issues, we can just not install it. But everything is already prepped and ready. Of course, you do have a feed for your cameras. You know, if you had a trailer, whether it's a livestock trailer, horse trailer, be able to see inside or back behind the trailer. And then the glad hands right here are capped off. So you'll see a lot of things go back and forth all the way across the product line. So generally, the generator's right on the left rear compartment, and then it will be standard 12.5 on any of the XLs, which is the largest generator that is RVIA spec'd. You do have your transfer switch, a 50 amp buddy plug there on the left, and then you do have your cord reel that's automatic in, manual out. Some of these do not lock, so if you'll notice anything that doesn't have a little umbilical cord will not be a locking compartment. Some of these, to be RVIA spec'd, cannot lock. Nice wet bay. For people that have been watching my videos, you've heard me brag on their wet bays for quite some time. Everything is nice and clean. very easy to take and use and operate. One thing I've kind of known forever, I've always thought it's kind of silly that they have that that spot for your dump, kind of the stinky slinky. It really doesn't work, and so I'm thinking about just having that shipped loose from here on out to be able to put something else in there, because most people do not use the included dump. This does have the option for the macerator pump, so basically you pull this guy out and makes dumping your tanks a little bit cleaner and nicer. Comes all the way out. And then if it did fail, you can still, in fact, that's one thing that we do here. We flush the tank several times to get any trash out. We've seen several macerator pumps fail because of basically the trash that gets inside the tanks during the building process. We like to take and flush it so that is removed. You can see that that's not intact there. There is, they put 12-volt heat pads in the bottom of your gray and black tanks. Each one of those tanks is 75 gallons, and then there's a hydronic register in the back of the wet bay, and you can monitor all that via the app or the Firefly screen inside. So, dual Victron inverters, those are 3,000 watts a piece. Renegade does an exceptional job with their wiring. I would basically challenge anybody to look at any other manufacturers and see the cleanliness of their wiring comparison. So standard on 2025s will be the 4 270 amp hours. This was an option for 2024. I might have said that wrong. It'll be standard in 25, optional, but to me, you got a coach of this size, you might as well just upgrade, do all the 4 batteries. That's the reason why you'll have them standard for 2025. So chassis batteries right there, and then there is a little port if you need to be able to air up any tires. So basically anything electrical from the floor down will be associated in that compartment. Single 120-gallon fuel tank, which is standard for all the Cascadias. Now, if we built this particular coach right here as a 116, things do change. Whenever the axle comes back and things get shorter, the fuel tank comes back. I've not built one of these in a 116, but I would be hesitant because I would be fearful that this compartment would then have to go on the right-hand side. So there's a lot of stuff to kind of contend with if you are changing chassis. That's something that we spend a lot of time on to make sure if somebody decides they want to do something, it won't affect something down the road that they don't necessarily know about. Very easy cab entry. I really don't go through too much on the cabs themselves. This does have the Villa seats. They are heated. They removed the Sears or National seats and put these Villa seats in. They're better than what was in the past. I still prefer, a seat built for a truck. All the newer Cascadia chassis will have dual dashes, so basically the one to the right will have the option for, or the availability for wired CarPlay, and that far right monitor over there essentially accommodates a hitch cam, trailer cam, that far right monitor, and that is a Garmin 851, so you could operate that as a Garmin. The chassis itself does come with a TomTom app built in that second screen in the middle. The 360 cams are overhead. I don't know if you can, the jack's gonna make a little racket. I don't know if we can get that initialized. The 360 cams are nice. They're definitely not perfect. They're not quite automotive-like. I think they will get better in time, but something we're excited about having in this product line, and then we are going to offer those in some custom coach lines as well. I don't think the customer is going to do any kind of a grill guard up front here, but we do stock the X guards, we do stock the herd guards, and the entire herd replacement bumpers as well. This guy next door, it's a used coach that came to us, does have that big herd replacement bumper up on the front. I'm going to jump inside. I always like to show kind of what it looks like inside closed up. Able to see all the Renegades do a great job. You can get to your refrigerator. I can walk through the coach, get to whatever I need. I can get to my half bath there. So Still a very usable coach. Now, if you were trying to kind of live the laps of luxury while you're driving down the road, I had a conversation today. You can't quite get all the way comfortable, but it was beat. I was on the phone with the customer for about an hour and a half, and so it was nice to be able to sit there and relax just a little bit. Now, the 45 DBM normally has a couch here. The customer liked what the 43 DB, which is technically a 44 foot, it's essentially this kind of a reversed floor plan right here. Now, you could argue this. I'm like, okay, I want to have the big windows on this side, on my camp side, and then kind of don't worry about this side. The issue is if you're sitting here, then you're looking this way. So everybody kind of has their premier idea of what the best coach is. These people wanted more storage. They didn't care about having the seating group here, so more storage, more countertop space. So we're able to accommodate them with having this here, but we've done them with desks. We've done them with a dog. I think one of the last XLs, we did a big dog crate here. So lots of different things we could do. Additionally, windows. So this is a much taller window than what would be standard. Nice to have this big window if you are looking out. Now that you wanted storage. So on the other side, we just did the standard 24-inch windows. Now they're not opening. They don't flow through at all. You will get a little flow through on this window. But they wanted the big overhead cabinets as well. Now going forward, the windows will actually go from a 48-inch to a 56-inch wide window starting in 25, so I think that'll be nice and a little bit wider. I prefer the larger windows. I like seeing the biggest window possible. I'm excited about having some of those in the Classic and the XL. So it'll be a 36-inch tall window, 56 inches wide, so it's going to be a monster window. You've seen that in your higher-end Prevost conversions in the past, and I think that's as time progresses, you'll probably see more functions and features like that in the truck chassis motorhomes. It's amazing the difference in these things, how they came from very crude units to exceptional units, much nicer than anything you've seen in the past. So they do a good job, but we always like to kind of bend the envelope a little bit, change some things that we think that could possibly change, and then also accommodate people. So we'll take and flip around a little bit. Open up some of the slides. So depending upon what floor plan it is, basically the flush-ish, I hate to use the term full flush, will be hydraulic. They started that in 2023. So definitely a little bit faster operating slide. Nice and quiet as well. Anything without plumbing generally is a little bit deeper versus this slide over here, this kitchen slide has less depth to it. I tell people 32 to 36 and then versus 16 to 18-inch depth there. Now one thing that was interesting, you know, I was hesitant to get some of the first 2024 XLs being a brand new product line. One thing that I found that whenever you open and close the cabinets, it was a completely different style cabinet. So basically it was kind of like a shaker style that had a really thin panel. You know, so you had basically framed all the way with a thin panel. And whenever we opened and closed that, you could hear that panel kind of reverberate inside. And so we've had people say, look, I want this, I want this. They did stouten them up a little bit in mid-2024. We've had some people just say, look, I'm not going to buy that with that cabinet. I hate it. We've pushed really hard. We've probably pushed a little bit harder than we should have, but we can accommodate people in different style cabinets. The cabinet shop that they outsource everything to does a great job to be able to accommodate every order. So this customer right here, they had the Epic slab in their previous coach and they wanted to continue on. So I was hesitant that might go away for 2025. They're changing the cabinet yet again, and I think that was kind of fixing the problem. But the nice thing is, you know, contact me, hey Darren, I want to coach and I want this style. As long as it's provided in the cabinet shop, we can generally get it. So kind of cool things there. Try to open up a few things to be able to see some more storage. Did the big drawer banks here. Now normally over here, there's like a little flip down door to be able to accommodate all your AV stuff. There again, this customer did not want any AV stuff. We were able to just put a drawer in there. Starting in 25, they're gonna come up with this like drawer with this little pegboard to be able to put some of this stuff in. We'll hide and watch to see how it works. I don't know. I'm hesitant to fall in love with anything until I see it. And this does have, all the window shades are automatic. All the XLs will have, with the exception for your 2 bass shades, they are not automatic, they're manual shades. Normally this is set up as a bar, so basically a bar top that comes out, but then, you know, what the heck do you do with, you know, you come up with little chairs. And so I see this customer requested, hey, we want this to just be a continuation of the kitchen. I was hesitant to do one piece all the way down, and I didn't want them butted up, so I decided we decided to just drop it down a little bit so everything looked good, but you wouldn't have any flex within the slide. Televator right back there. There again, that will take and block that. Standard, the sound bar inside and outside. Open up some of these just so you can see more storage. Storage panel here. And then this is some of these are a 5G cell-based system. Actually, I take that back there, 4G. Accommodates the remote login a little bit better than the 5G. So these will be all standard right here. Essentially, it just kind of goes over and blocks off the cab. The MCD cab shades are kind of silly. We never order those. Got to put like a little track up on the windshield and slide this piece in. To me, this is just much cleaner, much nicer. I said Villa furniture. People have asked about, hey, you know, can I get heated, vibrating? There's been talks about doing that. Whether they offer that in the Renegade line, only time will tell. Don't necessarily know. Do have dual storage underneath here. Not a ton of room, but every little bit helps out. They are relatively deep. It's all Cambria quartz, so relatively heavy, so this is not convertible on the XL. It still is convertible on all the rest of the product line. Now, it's been talks about that we get people that say, I want a stainless steel refrigerator. I have not ordered one of these coaches without one. We could easily take and change the refrigerator out after the fact, but the idea back behind this refrigerator is various panels, I guess kind of a home themed, and you could, so anyway, just kind of preference on the refrigerator. And like I said, you can take and change the panels out. If a customer wants a stainless steel one, just know you're going to have a new beer refrigerator for your garage that looks like that. We'll change out whatever you want after the fact. Go ahead and run these slide outs out in the back. Now a little bit larger panel for the XLs. Now if you'll notice, let me back up a little bit, on a CMR, which is essentially the same floor plan on a Classic, back up a little bit, kind of look at this, come all the way. But anyway, this hallway right here is a little bit wider on the CMR. Basically, they have to change up the mid portion of this coach a little bit to accommodate the rear cap, Classic versus XL. So by this bathroom changing a little bit, it gets a little bit tighter in here, and then a little bit smaller cabinet right here if you're talking a CMR, which is the Classic equivalent of this 45 DBM. So, but there's still decent room to be able to walk through here. Still have decent storage, but if the CMR has much more storage in the mid portion of this coach. This particular customer did not want a washer dryer, so we did not put one in from the factory. Come in this half bath. So the half bath is larger on the 45 DBM. There again, just to be able to accommodate different things. Essentially the bathroom kind of turned around a little bit and got a little bit wider. But still decent storage all the way through. Quartz countertops. And this particular customer decided they wanted the same backsplash from the kitchen all the way through. They normally have a different style backsplash for the XLs on the bathrooms in the back than the kitchen. But I've kind of seconded them that I wanted the same kind of consistency of the backsplash front to back. We'll come back here. Now, the last video we did we accommodated a 72-inch wide bed. Standard will be 66. If you do a 72-inch wide, these things have to come out. So what we do is we order them with them just shipped separately. The guys in the shop took and cut them down. We put the 110 receptacle inside, cut them down so you still had this. They came up about this tall, so you still had a little cubby hole there. They did a good job to be able to make it look totally factory because they do not offer it from the factory with a 72-inch wide bed in any kind of a nightstand, any kind of electrical plug. Electrical plug would be all the way underneath here, and to me that's a pain to plug in there and then just put your phone wherever. So for somebody that does want a wider bed, that's something we can get done here at the dealership as opposed to a factory. Just manual switches overhead here for your power MCD shades. You do have some master controls right here. Turn all your lights on and off. Now we'll talk about this. So basically this was new, be able to get back here. Now from here going forward, you know, we wanted to kind of throw them another twist, so to speak, and so instead of doing cabinet doors, we're going to have 2 drawers here. We'll be able to order that from the factory. This particular setup with 2 drawers, and then they'll have a piece there, so you don't have to worry about pulling your drawer out and getting any kind of clothing hung up. But I think adding the drawers is just kind of the icing on the cake to be able to have the premier storage here. There again, normally you have a little mesh screen to be able to accommodate all your AV stuff. You can see it's still stubbed up within that. So it makes it nice to be able to have more storage instead of having an entire unit that's designed for your Atari or your Bluetooth or your Blu-ray player. Cedar line closet, of course. Do a good job with all the trim. You know, very polished coats is kind of what I would say these XLs are. I'll do the old shower test. So like I talked earlier, normally the XLs have a different tile there, a different tile there than this. Now it just seems silly to have all these different textiles within a pretty confined environment. So we decided not to do anything on the floor, do a regular solid surface. Now 2025, I don't know what they're going to do there, but the 2025s will have this big opposing wall. They have some vertical lines within. So basically, I think there's going to be like 4 pieces of big tile. It's the entire one sheet. So it'll change yet again, but I think that people still will come back to the simplicity. There again, normally all the XLs put a big body spray right here, chews up a lot of water. This customer just wanted simplicity, so standard unit they put in the XLs, and a lot of they've done in the past to be able to conserve water, be able to turn it on and off. So just simplicity. There again, we're able to go from a 2-tiered shower caddy to a 3-tiered. I was happy about that, but that's going away because this wall will change for 25. So boom, we will have an inset here. So it'll be 3 tiers inset within the wall to be able to accommodate all your shampoos and conditioners. So definitely, I wouldn't say going back by any means, just kind of cleaning things up and then accommodating different styles as well. I'll open up these. We generally spec our units with a few additional 110 plugs, so that's one of the additional 110 plugs there in the back. And then another thing we do here at the dealership after the fact is we generally put a bypass switch on the toilets. You hear on the forums a lot of customers complaining that they're not able to take and operate their toilets once they get about 50% or 60% full. That's to keep you from overfilling your black tank and shoving waste out of your vent up on the top, but it is nice to be able to bypass that, just to be able to flush your toilet to then get to somewhere to get it dumped. Take it and flop around a little bit. So very nice layout. You know, the colors look good. They're really not going to change much for the 2025s. Just minor little changes. The floor, this has kind of been the preferred floor we've done. It was actually a little bit more porous previously. This is a little bit tighter, but it has the same look. But and we will also do a shower miser in this. There again, the guys will go through, and we already have it stubbed up. The plumbing already stubbed up from the factory. So there's a piece of PEX that goes in the floor and then is in that wall back there to be able to accommodate the shower miser to be able to conserve a lot of water. So lots of cool stuff that, you know, we can work with the factory to be able to accommodate the customer's needs and wishes. So really happy with, you know, to me, the number one thing beyond, you know, this particular piece right here is the fact we were able to get epic slab. I think it just kind of gives a little bit cleaner look, and a lot of people, like I said, they prefer the simplicity of just a plank style instead of a raised panel. A lot of people, you know, in really dry climates, very hot climates, my concern with a lot of those panel type doors is things shrink, and then you have to contend with stain not being around in areas. So it's nice to be able to accommodate different customers, whether it's for function or preference. So I think that's a lot of information we tried to pack in a XL video. We're going to try to do one more XL video sometime this weekend about ordering an XL. So we'll bring the book in to kind of talk about that, and then I'll see if we can't get a little bit further in depth to be able to show more floor plans. But this is always something you can go to the website, you know, to Renegade's website, get a rough idea. But we're very well versed in this, so anybody that wants to order a coach and kind of be able to set it apart from the rest of them, you know, make sure you give us a call. Appreciate you guys always watching the video. You're watching it right now. I know you watched it from front to back. Make sure you guys like, tag, and subscribe. It's pmcrv.com. Give us a call here at the dealership. Get in touch with me, meet you at the factory, be able to come in here and look at some of the things we do here at the dealership as well. Make sure you guys keep on coming back. Thanks.